How you doing?
How you doing? Joe Walsh here, 88.5 FM. Welcome to the show. I had a busy week. I have a foundation called VetsAid, which is exactly that. The past 3 years, been able to have concerts all over the country to raise money for vets and veteran services. This year, it's going to have to be a virtual show on December 12th. When you have a charity event, you have to humbly kind of ask people you know, people maybe you don't know, people who know people, if they would consider being part of it. You put a bunch of asks out there and hope you get a couple of them back, kind of like going fishing. Well, this year, I put out 30 asks and 30 people said yes. Careful what you pray for. So, it's going to be great. A virtual 4-hour stream on December 12th for VetsAid, and you can get on vetsaid.org to find out about tickets. So tonight I've assembled songs from most of the people who are going to be performing on December 12th on the VetsAid stream. And it's going to be pretty diverse. So if you're listening to the station for the first time, you're going to think, what the hell kind of station is this? Which is okay, because we're independent. No other station does this. 88.5 FM. Here we go.
This next question is from Joe Fry from New Jersey. Hey, Joe. As a resident of New Jersey, I'm wondering if you ever lived here. I recall hearing you lived in Passaic at some point in your life. Hope you find this question interesting. Thanks for being Joe. Sincerely, Joe.
Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thanks for the question. My brother Frank lives in Passaic, New Jersey, on the Passaic-Clifton border. So that's probably what you heard. In 1959, my family moved from Columbus, Ohio, to the East Coast. And I went to junior high school in Queens, New York, at PS 216. And I went to high school at Montclair High School in Montclair, New Jersey. I graduated in 1965, much to my amazement, and went back to Ohio for college. But you are right, and from one Jersey boy to another, Joey, I feel in you. Thanks for the question. 88.5 FM, Joe Walsh here. Let me go down the music of hour one, and I'll mention the VetsAid participants. Josh Ritter, Jimmy Buffett, Daryl Hall, Kenny Chesney, Richard Marks, Metallica, James Hetfield. All those folks will be on the VetsAid stream December 12th.
This next question is from Chris Pedrick from Chicago. Hi, Joe. I've been a fan since your James Gang days. I had the albums on 8-track tape, so I could also listen in the car. My question, on the back of the James Gang Rides Again album, there is a picture of the band on motorcycles in snowy weather. Where was this photo taken, and can you give us a bit of background about the idea for the picture? I really enjoy your radio show. I also enjoy when you are on the Steve Dahl podcast. Thank you for all the years of wonderful music. Chris Pedrick.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Good question. The James Gang once played a small college in western Massachusetts, I don't know, Allegheny State, or something like that. Anyway, it started snowing that afternoon and snowed all evening, and by the end of the concert, when we got the truck loaded, the snow was such that it was impossible to go anywhere. But we had these friends who had a band. They played in Cleveland a couple times. That's how we met them. And they lived near the college, so they invited us over, and we crashed at their house. And in the morning, they said, could we get a picture of you guys sitting on our motorcycles? And we said, sure. So they brought these incredible bikes out of their barn. We took a picture of us on the bikes in the snow, and that is the James Gang Rides Again cover. The guy that took the picture, his name is Tom Wright. And you could look him up in Wikipedia. He's an amazing photographer from the old rock and roll days. He has thousands of black and white photos of everybody you can imagine. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you was, hey, we were really bad dudes and we would ride our bikes anywhere, even in the snow. But so now you got the story of us on those bikes and the James Gang Rides Again cover. Thanks for the question. 88.5 FM. Joe Walsh here. Let me give you some participants in hour 2 for the VetsAid stream on December 12th. Brian Bingham, Blake Sheldon, Haim, Willie Nelson, Nathaniel Ratcliffe, James Taylor, Melissa Etheridge, and Vince Gill.
This next question is from Zoe from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hi there. What was your experience like recording Barnstorm at Caribou Ranch in its early inception? Was Nederland, Colorado an inspiration for the music at the time? My name is Zoe, and I'm from Colorado Springs. Kindest regards, Zoe.
Hey, Zoe, how you doing? Good question. When I decided to leave the James Gang, I wanted to do a fresh start, go somewhere I had never been, write the music that was in my head, do a solo album, put a band together around whatever that was, and that became Barnstorm. And I didn't know where to go, but I wanted to get out of Cleveland. And Bill Simzik, the James Gang's producer, had just moved to Colorado, and he said, come to Colorado. So I found this little town above Boulder called Nederland. And it was interesting because James Gershio, who was the band Chicago's record producer, took a bunch of royalties and bought this huge ranch up there and built a studio on it. Well, nobody had ever used the studio. And usually they have hums and they're all wired wrong and nothing works. So he said, go in there and record and make a list of everything that doesn't work, and every night we'll fix it. And by the time your album's done, the studio will be ready to go. Well, in a studio that had never been used, in a town that was ridiculous, in the mountains that I had never lived in, I wrote the Barnstorm album, and that's where Rocky Mountain Way came out of course. And I wrote stuff that I never would have written at sea level. And I'm superstitious about that. Your environment and your experiences while you're recording something have a profound effect on the music itself. And I think that was a good call on my part, and I'm eternally grateful to Bill Simzik for believing in me. And of course, he produced Hotel California. So there you go. 88.5 FM, Joe Walsh here. Coming down to the end of hour 2. I want to thank the station, 88.5 FM, for letting me put together a 2-hour playlist like this. I sure appreciate it. It's a good sampling of what the VetsAid stream on December 12th is going to be like. Don't forget vetsaid.org for ticket information. We'll go out with Annie Lennox. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. Watch it. Don't talk to strangers if they don't have a mask on. And stay at least 6 feet from yourself. See you next week. Thanks for listening.